I'll get into some flying in just a second. I'm just sorting out the stream. 1 second. There we go, that's what it was after. Yeah, cool. Yep, sorry, I was just trying to set up the chat on a mobile phone just so I can actually keep an eye on that whilst I'm in game. Now, for anyone watching, this is literally the first time I am playing, so expect me to either crash or something, as I have not played one of these for quite some time. The last time I played a flight sim was 1995. Okay, so this is just going to show us all the different views, all the different views around the aircraft, pitch. Okay. I don't think we'll need to really do this first one. But we probably should, just in case. If it seems a little bit kind of like tedious or something, then I think we'll just skip and just try to get into a flight. I think if you're watching this as well, you probably won't understand, like, I'm very much expecting to do something wrong when we're trying to either get off the ground or going for a first landing or something. Alright, okay, so we are starting in the air, I guess.
Welcome to flight training. I'm your instructor, Captain Molina, but you can just call me Jess. This session, we'll get started with some basic controls. Sound good? First things first, let's get familiar with your surroundings.
Sure.
I've got the stick while you get your bearings. Out your side windows, you can see we have great visibility over Sedona today.
So, our point of view, yep. Okay, so that'll move us around the cockpit, that's fine. That'll give us a left and right.
Red Rock territory. Beautiful, isn't it?
Okay, so right is just, that's better. And then joystick button 2 has got to be, nope, not that one. That one, okay. Oh god, as soon as I take over this control, I know we're going to be crashing into something. So save a custom one. Okay, I don't really want to do that now. Also, if the game volume seems too loud over my actual voice, do let me know, because this is literally the first one, so this is more of a test stream that we're doing today. Press Alt and 1 anytime to call your custom camera. Okay. Can we move on from that? Oh, okay, so you actually have to save a custom one. Okay. Sure, we'll go for one at the back. So it's Control Alt and 1. Get back to the pilot, press in, yep. And then, okay.
The runway should be a pretty easy landmark to find.
So 1, okay.
Confirmation on the airport. Oriented. training list is the yoke. I still remember my first instructor saying the yoke is like a steering wheel. Almost. Sure, you can turn, but you can also pitch. For starters, it controls the ailerons. And the ailerons, they allow the plane to roll and bank into turns. Go ahead and try rolling to the right.
Oh god. You are gently to the right to roll your aircraft.
Go ahead and try rolling to the right. Nice. Now let's see you level back out. Good. Of course, the yoke also controls the elevator. And the elevator affects the plane's pitch, right? Pull back on the stick, the plane starts to climb. Give it a shot. The most valuable things in aviation are speed and altitude. But notice, when you're pitching up, your speed is decreasing. You could add more power. Or for now, let's just pitch down.
Okay, this does seem fairly straightforward for this part of it, at least.
Just like that, your speed's picking up again as the nose pitches down. As you level back out, let's talk about another control, the rudders at your feet.
Yes, so I do not have rudder pedals, I am literally just using a joystick at the moment.
Those pedals are going to steer the plane left or right. Up here, they properly align us during turns. Try them out and watch the plane's nose skew to either side.
The joystick R-axis.
Simple enough, right? Before we go on, let's bring the plane back to straight up flight. Make sure your dashboard is aligned 3 to 4 inches below the horizon for a cruise attitude. Okay, the last thing we're gonna cover now is the throttle. If you have the need for speed, then the throttle's for you. Full control over the power output of the engine. Let's see what happens when you cut all the power. Surprise, surprise, our altitude is decreasing. This might be a good time for a piloting PSA. Always keep an eye on your surroundings, because nobody likes a low-flying duck. Alright, let's go ahead and throttle back up.
Okay, yeah, to be fair, just looking at like the graphics around in this game, it is stupidly good looking. Like even just looking out into the distance.
Speed is increasing, and as long as we maintain the same attitude, our altitude will keep climbing too. You're really getting the hang of your controls. Before long, you won't even need a co-pilot. Until then, if you want help with the radio or checklists or simply flying the plane, I'll be here. You can pass me the controls when you're ready to finish your session, or keep flying. It is a great day after all.
Okay, so Control Alt and X will give it back to her. Let's keep hold of it just for now. Now, one of the things I've been wondering since even starting to watch streams for this game, is whether or not can you do a barrel roll. I don't think we were far enough off the ground to actually safely do this. But let's give it a go. Yeah, see, that's fine. We'll just climb back up. Okay, we'll give controls back over,
Alright, I have control.
and we'll move on to the next one. Cool. That was fairly easy, actually, to be fair. Okay, I know some of the instruments already, so I might just try kind of learning them as I go, rather than going into that. So let's just go back to the training menu. Okay, so they give you the system for the entire thing, so we can learn to fly that well. The fundamentals, you know, we're gonna do it anyway. It's not the most exciting, I get that, but I think it's better to do it. So, okay, yep. Attitude and power equal performance, yep, sure. Okay, that seems fairly. It seems like another fairly basic lesson, but. So we're going to be airspeed indicator, attitude indicator, altimeter, turner slip indicator, heading indicator, barometer, and tachometer. Okay, I know at least, what, 3, 4 of them, 5 of them actually mean. But yeah, the other ones, not quite sure on them. But let's quickly go have a look.
Today we're talking about attitudes of flight, how your plane is oriented relative to the horizon. If you look outside, you can see the cockpit is just about 4 inches below the horizon line. We're flying straight with a decent rate of speed. This is the cruise attitude. Let's see how it reads on your instruments.
Okay, so you can actually bring up the controller. That's actually pretty cool. So yeah, if you're watching, you can see I'm using a Thrustmaster 1600M. Sorry, 16,000M. That's actually pretty good. I quite like that. So focus on instruments is control
Take a
1.
look at the attitude indicator. As the name implies, it shows your current attitude. The white line is the horizon, with the sky above and the ground below.
Yep.
The orange element in the middle, aligned with the horizon, that's your plane. Just like we saw
Okay.
inside, our current attitude reads pretty much straight and level. Okay, now let's see how much power the engine's generating. Check your tachometer. Looks like we're pushing around 2,300 revolutions per minute.
Are we?
Right. Attitude and engine RPMs translate to aircraft performance,
Where is she even looking for that?
which leads us to your airspeed indicator. Now, last but not least, check your altimeter. To figure out your altitude, you always want to read the small needle first. That's how many thousands of feet up you are. Then on to the big needle for the hundreds.
Okay, so 6,000 feet.
Attitude and power output, we're holding a speed of 90 knots and a stable altitude of 6,000 feet. But that's about to change. Take the stick when you're ready.
Okay, I still didn't get to see what the
Slightly on the
tachometer
east,
is.
just above the horizon line. About 2 inches. Make sure you don't pitch up too much, or the angle will be too steep to create lift. And without enough lift, we'll stall. Alright, go full throttle and start climbing. Welcome to the climb attitude. What shows up on your attitude indicator and tachometer?
Still don't know which one is the tachometer.
Gaining altitude. But we're losing airspeed even at full throttle, proving you can't avoid basic physics while making the climb.
Okay, so I know which one the airspeed is. I know what the attitude one is.
Ease up on the yoke and aim your nose just below the horizon. Then throttle back down to 2300 RPMs. Nice job. We're now set up with the same attitude and power we
Okay.
had at the top of our lesson. Next up is the descent attitude.
I love how she's like
Reducing your
telling me all these things, and I'm just like, yeah, I understand what you're talking about.
RPM further below the horizon.
Okay, so basically go slower and head down a bit. Okay, so the RPM's over there on the right hand side. I can see that now. So around 20, I mean, what, 1800 revolutions?
As expected, with a nose-down attitude, our altitude is decreasing, while our speed is picking up. Why don't you get us back to a cruise attitude, and we'll hit the last part of our lesson.
Okay, yeah, this isn't too difficult.
There we go. Now that we know how to cruise, climb, and descend, let's talk about the turn attitude. Gently pull the yoke left or right to start rolling the plane. If you take a look outside, you can see how our attitude's changed, but you can also check your instruments for the details. As a general rule, you always want to keep your turns under 30 degrees.
Honestly, the game is really good. Like, I don't think even the stream does the
Representing 10 degrees each.
graphics like any justice.
Notice the more you turn, the more you need to pull back on the yoke to maintain altitude. When you're rolling out, you'll need to do the opposite. Roll and push at the same time. The more you
I want to see what that was over there that I saw.
the closer you get to that pilot state of mind. So keep practicing, and whenever you're done, pass me the controls.
I could have sworn when I was looking right I saw something on that horizon, but that might have just been the graphics. Yeah, like at the top of that it's kind of going a bit blurry. I'm not sure if that's just like my settings or not. Okay, alright, well we'll call it there anyway.
Thanks, I've got control now. Well done.
Ooh, so we now move over to, I think the next one is taking off. Take off a level flight, yeah, we'll go straight into it. That's weird. Yeah, sorry, the chat wasn't coming through on my mobile phone actually, so I didn't actually see that. Yeah, sorry, I had to quickly tab out to actually see the chat that's going on at the moment, because my phone, for whatever reason, is not showing the chat. That's a bit weird. My bad on that one. So what is he saying? Tacom is back. Yeah, okay, yeah. Can't wait to be honest, I might pick it up with VR. Yeah, to be fair, I'm actually, yeah. When VR, ignored. When VR does come out for this, yeah, I'm definitely gonna be giving it a go. Although it might be a bit trippy. I imagine it will be a bit like Elite Dangerous when you're doing that in VR. Like when you start spinning around, that goes a little bit crazy actually. So I'm just trying to get the chat back up on my phone because I don't know why that wasn't bringing it up. That was the whole point of actually bringing it up on my phone. Let me just reload it on my phone, and then on my phone. On my phone. So if I just put, okay, cool, right, so, okay, cool, so my chat is coming through. So hopefully that should work, so I should be able to see now when I'm actually in the actual thing doing stuff now. Cool, right, let's crack on with this. Okay, right, ready to fly.
Saying I like. A mile of road will take you a mile. A mile of runway will take you anywhere. Taking off isn't hard, but there are a few key points to remember. First, we always take off into the wind, which won't be an issue on a calm day like today. Second, before we enter a runway, we always make sure it's clear.
So 8, sweet, okay. Always make sure our runway is clear. Yep, we're all good.
Everything looks good, no cross traffic. Go ahead and taxi into position. The rudder pedals should make steering the plane pretty easy.
Okay, so the brake is number 3, which is sweet, okay. Okay, so we should be moving, yeah, we're just moving nice and slowly. So we can follow the taxi line. Oh, needed to brake as well. That might actually help. Ooh, this is not smooth. There we go. Right. Brake.
All right, let's do this. Apply full power and I'll walk you through the takeoff as we go.
Okay, right. Let go of the brake. Start accelerating.
Use your rudders to stay on the center line and keep pushing power until you reach 55 knots. Good. Now gently pull back on the yoke. Line up the top of your instrument panel so it's a couple inches above the horizon. That'll pitch us up and set a good climb attitude. And we're airborne. Focus on flying straight. Use your rudders to keep the runway heading of 210 degrees. Maintain 75 knots, and we'll reach our target altitude of 5,500 feet in no time.
It's not bad for a first takeoff. Could have been worse. Still though, I can't wait to actually go exploring and actually see what this game really has to offer.
Ah, 5,500 feet. A nice, safe altitude for part 2 of our lesson. Straight and level flight. First step here is adjusting our attitude. We're in a cruise attitude, pushing max power. To stay level at our target altitude, let's start by easing the throttle back to 1800 RPMs.
Gently does it.
Probably noticed, to maintain altitude, you need to pitch the nose up. You could just keep pulling on the yoke to hold steady, but that's not really a precise means of control. Probably better to adjust your trim wheel until you don't need to push or pull on the yoke. Drag the trim down when you need to set the nose up. Drag it up to set the nose down. Try adding trim to keep us at 5,500 feet without increasing throttle. If you feel our pitch slipping and need to get back to the proper attitude, don't worry. Just pull on the yoke, then dial in the right trim.
So 6 and 9. Ooh, that was way too much. Way too much. I think we're about there. So we were at... okay, so we're actually too high right now. That's fine. So we can push it down a bit. Let's bring that up. Come on. Man, this bit is actually a lot harder than I actually thought to do it with. So let's turn you a bit flat. Add some more trim. There we go, we're actually starting to climb a bit more now. That's better. Rather than constantly going down. Now, why are you losing more altitude? Okay, right, let's get a bit more power so we can get up, because this is a bit ridiculous. Okay, good. So we're climbing again. Okay, cool. So we're getting up there slowly but surely. I should have been up there ages ago, to be fair. You know, let's just pull back a bit. Come on. It says 5,500, yeah. Okay, so 5,500 feet. So we can start to slow down in just a bit. Just try and keep ourselves level. Okay, so we are just approaching 5,500. We can bring ourselves down a bit in speed.
The way I was taught, when you adjust the trim, you make rough changes at first to remove pressure on the yoke, then small adjustments to find the perfect setting to keep your desired attitude. That's the key to straight and level flight. It saves you from constantly pushing or pulling on the yoke. And that gives you more time to enjoy the ride. If you want more practice using the trim, go for it. Whenever you're ready to pass the controls, I'll be here. Okay, I have control. Hope you enjoyed the lesson.
Okay, now comes the hard bit. Landing. Now this is the bit that I was probably most nervous about. As I mean, what, the last time I played a flight simulator was 15 years ago. It might not have even been Flight Sim 95, it might have even been Flight Sim 93. Which means we're going back too many years.
My first instructor used to say, the best part of flying is landing in one piece. The man was a terminal pessimist, but he wasn't wrong. Today, you're in charge of bringing us in for a safe landing.
Oh, okay.
We've got cleared for a straight-in approach, so we don't have to complete the standard traffic pattern. And I've already set us up in landing configuration at 65 knots with 10 degrees of flaps and idle power. We're on the glide slope now. Maintain speed around 65 knots. Change your pitch if you need to, and keep your aim point on the runway number. When you're targeting the runway number, you want to keep it steady in your sights. If it looks like the number's moving up in your windscreen, you're coming in low. You'll need to add a bit more throttle to get back on the slope. If it looks like the number's moving down in your windscreen, well, then you're too high. You'll need to add flaps to increase your rate of descent, but you'll also need to push forward and trim to change your attitude and maintain the same speed.
So F8, okay. We're a bit off center here, by the way. I don't know if it's this joystick or not, but it seems to like, or if it's actual like wind in game, but it seems to be like drifting us off. Ooh, that was definitely the wrong thing.
Keep your aim point on the runway threshold. When you're 10 feet above the runway, it's time to flare. Once we pass the threshold, shift your aim point to the end of the runway. Then, pull back slightly on the yoke to aim the nose just above it.
I'm going in like sideways here.
We're too high to land. SOP dictates we go around and try our approach again.
Nope.
Don't worry, you'll get it with practice.
Ah, you son of a... Oh. I swear that can... Yeah, I'm blaming my joystick for that.
My first instructor used to say the best part of flying is landing in one piece. The man was a terminal pessimist, but he wasn't wrong. Today, you're in charge of bringing us in for a safe landing. We've got clearance for a straight-in approach, so we don't have to complete the standard traffic pattern. And I've already set us up in landing configuration at 65 knots with 10 degrees of flaps and idle power. We're on the glide slope now. Maintain speed around 65 knots. Change your pitch if you need to, and keep your aim point on the runway number. When you're targeting the runway number, you want to keep it steady in your sights. If it looks like the number's moving up in your windscreen, you're coming in low. You'll need to add a bit more throttle to get back on the slope. If it looks like the number's moving down in your windscreen, well, then you're too high. You'll need to add flaps to increase your rate of descent, but you'll also need to push forward and trim to change your attitude and maintain the same speed.
I will get better at the landing on this, but we're still coming in a bit flipping sideways. It's not too bad though.
Keep your aim point on the runway threshold. When you're 10 feet above the runway, it's time to flare. Once we pass the threshold, shift your aim point to the end of the runway. Then, pull back slightly on the yoke to aim the nose just above it.
We are coming in way too short.
Okay, we're past the threshold. Start the flare.
Yep, crap. No.
Onto the runway. Push it down, but don't let it start climbing.
Dear.
Nice. Now apply the brakes to slow it down and bring the plane to a stop.
Oh man. Oh, what the hell? Why are you going over? Oh wait, was I pressing the wrong one for the brakes? No, I wasn't.
Great job. As they say, any landing outstanding. Landing can be hard, even for seasoned pilots. Trust me, don't hesitate to practice. After all, that's what we're here for, right?
Man, that was terrible. Oh, man. Oh dear, let's have a look what else we've got on the training menu. Because I don't think we need to worry about traffic patterns or anything just yet, but we'll get to learn. So we've done the basics, attitudes and instruments, takeoff and level flight. Some might say we've done landing. Okay, so then we've got traffic patterns. I guess, yeah, we should do that as well. No, I get the feeling actually using like a proper yoke for this would make turning, balancing, lifting up and everything a hell of a lot more easier, because using a joystick, it feels a little bit unnatural, I'll be honest. Like in Elite Dangerous, I don't know, in Elite Dangerous it kind of felt normal, whereas in this one, I don't know, it just feels a little bit off. Honestly, the visuals in this game are great.
Likes going around in circles, unless you're a pilot training on traffic patterns. Sedona's standard traffic pattern follows a 1,000-foot altitude around the main runway. By the time we're through here, you'll know how to complete the full run from takeoff to landing. So let's get started.
Okay, so it was about 55 knots was where we could pull back. We should be able to pull back a little bit. There we go.
When we're up, keep us aligned with the runway and climb to 5,400 feet. We're going for a left-hand traffic pattern.
Okay, so we should be at 54 any second.
Once we reach altitude, you're gonna start turning left 90 degrees toward a 122-degree heading. Okay, we're in the pattern. Get ready to enter the crosswind section. Good. Keep going till you reach the traffic pattern altitude of 5,700 feet. Ready to make your left turn downwind? When the runway appears at the halfway point of your wing strut, you'll know you're at a good glide distance.
Okay, let's balance you out a bit.
We've got the wind at our back now. We're on the right track. Lower your nose to a cruise attitude and reduce power to 2,100 RPMs. Once your speed is in the white arc, add 10 degrees of flaps to prep us for landing. Now's not a bad time to check if the runway is looking good. And it probably goes without saying, always watch out for other planes entering or exiting the pattern. We're gonna fly past the end of the runway here. Keep going until you see it at a 45-degree angle behind you. That's your cue to turn left again onto the base leg.
And honestly, when you're just flying around, you just kind of... You just want to take in most of the visuals in this game, because even the cloud design, the mist... Oh, he's panicked a bit there. That messed me up. So we're a little bit low. But that should... Although our speed is going down, so let's... Okay, so there's a runway.
Alright, reduce power to idle to start losing altitude and maintain cruise attitude. Keep an eye on the runway as we get ready for our final turn. That'll also keep our speed around 65 knots. There we go. The runway's in full view. Make sure to keep the plane centered on approach. If you're too high, add flaps. Too low, add power to maintain the glide path.
Oh, we are a bit far off. Yeah, good. We're going a bit all over here. Okay, so pull up. Balance out. Ooh, that was quite hard. Add the brakes. No, for a second landing, that was actually pretty decent. I'm quite happy with that.
Now, just apply the brakes to slow your roll. And make sure you don't stop on the runway, of course. If other planes are looking to land, we've got to move. Take one of the taxiways on the right.
Nope. We are going way too fast for this taxi.
An old instructor said to me, not only did you not die, you're really learning to fly.
Ooh, man. That's more nerve-wracking than you think. Ooh, first solo flight. Okay, so we're just doing a lap. So, going up, increasing, turning left, still increasing. 2, it looks like we kind of descend a little bit. And then on the final turn is when we come in. Okay. So crosswind, downwind, base, final. Okay. I guess we're gonna be okay to do this.
It's time, your first solo flight. I'll be watching from the ground in radio contact if you need me, but something tells me you won't. Your goal is to complete Sedona's left-hand traffic pattern on your own. Remember what we covered in our previous sessions, and you'll be just fine. Good luck.
Sure.
See you on the other side.
Okay, so we can pull up. We aim for 5,400 feet. Where are we at the moment? We are at 5,000. Still climbing. We wanted to keep it, what, 65? 75, I think it was. Okay, then that should be us turning left, which was a right turn at 90 degrees. Oop. It's a bit too much. Then for this one we just wanted to level out. Man, why do you keep rolling to the left? Come on. We got the runway to our left. Let's keep this level. So if I was flying this in real life, I would be absolutely bricking it. Okay, then I'm pretty sure I missed the first marker, I'll be quite honest. But we will descend the flaps, because we didn't hit that downwind. Oop. Yeah, we've turned in way too early. So our first solo one is not going great. Okay, right, let's straighten out a bit. Straighten you out. Pull back. Yep, a bit off center.
You weren't really supposed to land there. It's well done, don't get me wrong. Just not what I expected. At this point, I think it's probably best if we start the lesson over.
Ah, come on. Really? There wasn't a marker for it. Like, yeah, it got to 15,000, 54,000. Okay, fine. Let's do this quickly then.
First solo flight. I'll be watching from the ground in radio contact if you need me, but something tells me you won't. Your goal is to complete Sedona's left-hand traffic pattern on your own. Remember what we covered in our previous sessions, and you'll be just fine. Good luck. See you on the other side.
Okay, so we'll go for 5,400. We're currently at 23 degrees southeast. Okay, then we want to turn left again. Okay, then we want to bring this back to a cruising. We'll bring that down to 2200 RPM. Keep that flat, that should be on our left hand side, yep. So we wanted to send off flaps to get our speed down. Okay, so our flaps are down. We should be okay to turn left now. A little bit more. Straighten that out again. Nope. It's gonna do the same thing again. We're saying like we haven't done it. I'll be quite honest, I'm quite happy with what we've done so far. Oh, we are overshooting that a little bit though. Okay, We are going to glide in, lift up. Oh, still a bit heavy.
You weren't really supposed to land there. It's well done, don't get me wrong. Just not what was expected. At this point, I think it's probably best if we start the lesson over.
Nah, sorry, not happening. I think we did that perfectly fine. So that's 1, 2, 6. Yes, that's 1 to 6 that we've just done. So we've got follow a flight plan from point A to point B, and then doing it by yourself. Okay, we'll do one with this one because this is actually probably going to be, ooh, flight duration 24 minutes. Okay. Alright, well, before we do that, I'm just going to take a quick 2-minute break. Right guys, actually before we go in and do this one, because it's going to be a 24-minute and then there'll be another 24 minutes after that, so it's going to be an hour. What I will do is I'm going to finish these separately away from the stream. And then what I will do is tomorrow evening I'll actually try to do a route that you guys might actually want to see. So if you do want to see anything, then obviously drop a comment on this or hit me up on social media. You can also follow me on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/itstioli. So yeah guys, thank you so much for joining me on this Learn to Fly. We may do another stream a little bit later on this evening, but I highly doubt it as it's now coming up to 10 o'clock here. Today was just more of a test stream, see how the quality is, you know, because I just want to make sure everything looks good for you guys, and then obviously we're just getting used to the controls myself. And I think we've done all of the kind of basics that we need to do for this bit. There's a lot more to learn in this, of course. I'm nowhere near the level that I need to be. But that's why I'm going to do some separate learning, just in a bit more relaxed environment. And then, of course, if you want to see me doing some more learning or some more kind of smaller vehicle flights, then of course let me know. But for now, guys, thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next stream. Take care, guys.